What is going on, everybody? So I've been wanting to make this video for a little while now, even before SteamOS was available for the ROG Ally and the Legion Go devices. There is one main feature on the Steam Deck that will never be replaced, even if every single handheld has SteamOS available for it. And that is the trackpads. Now, there is something very special about these trackpads that most people know to be a main feature of the Steam Deck and no other handheld. That is the fact that you can fully customize the trackpads to be anything you want. You can customize each trackpad to act like a D-pad or even face buttons. And as we know, the trackpads have haptic feedback, so you can actually feel exactly where you are on the trackpad. You can use them as a mouse, and obviously there are different handhelds with better mouse features on their trackpads, but I feel like the Steam Deck has among the most useful trackpads, specifically because there are two. Now, I'm a huge fighting game fan, and I have a game called Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Now, sometimes I want to play a fighting game right before I go to bed because, well, it's the equivalent of mental exercise, in my opinion. And I've actually customized both trackpads to act like the face buttons and the D-pad, which means that I can play this in the middle of the night, right next to my partner, regardless of how late it is. And I actually call this layout the silent fighter. And I think that's appropriate for a fighting game that you want to play in the middle of the night past 12 a.m. or probably just late and your partner simply wants to get up earlier than you in the morning. But I think the silent fighter is the perfect layout if you want to play a fighting game in the middle of the night. I feel like fighting games are the only games that you can't possibly play in the middle of the night, especially when everybody else is sleeping. Sure, there might be some grunting and some raging going on, but if you can keep that beast at bay, the silent fighter will inevitably be your favorite layout on your Steam Deck. The trackpad can even act like a mouse and an analog stick on the left. But honestly, most of the time, I use the silent fighter layout for my Steam Deck, and no other handheld has this available. Even something like the Legion Go has kind of a little too sensitive trackpad for my liking. But something like the Steam Deck, with its buttons being so silent, usually using the D-pad doesn't make too much noise, but when you're really getting into it, most of the time, something like the silent fighter layout is a dream come true for people that just want to play a game and don't want people waking up in the middle of the night telling them to shut the fuck up. But is this my only reason for liking the Steam Deck more than other handhelds? Well, not personally, but as you can see, it works pretty damn well. I mean, I can even pull off grabs, and if I try hard enough, I can switch characters and specials. But yes, besides this feature, I think that Valve is going to try their hardest to optimize the Steam Deck the best in terms of battery life and performance ratio. Of course, the ROG Ally with SteamOS probably works better because of its Z1 Extreme chip. But the fact that the Steam Deck can actually catch up to something like the ROG Ally and the Legion Go S with the Z1 Extreme chip with SteamOS is actually a testament to how well optimized this actually is. And I feel like supporting the Steam Deck will give Valve a little more hope to make a Steam Deck 2, which will most likely have an alternative to the Z1 Extreme in terms of power, and will probably be the best handheld regardless of how many other handhelds support SteamOS. And I feel like they can make the trackpads even better in the future. And I'm actually looking forward to the future of the Steam Deck 2 more than something like the ROG Ally, which we know is probably going to have iffy support in the future. And yes, I can't pull off the supers as well, but I feel like this is better than waking up your partner in the middle of the night, you know? And also I have another Wolverine on the ready, so it's okay. But yeah, as you can see, it's fully playable with the two trackpads. But not only that, while you're playing RPG games, you can actually set your trackpads to specific commands, similar to games like Dragon's Dogma 2 and Baldur's Gate 3. Besides the silent fighter layout, the trackpad can actually work as single button presses, so you can actually have two separate macro buttons on the front, directional swipes, scroll wheels, and something called radial menus. And these are very important when it comes to those RPGs I mentioned. There's so many functions to the trackpad, it isn't even funny how amazing these two tools will become to you. And these are the two main functionalities that people find and appreciate more about the Steam Deck as they go on and as they use the handheld even more. It's the main reason why people fell in love with the handheld to begin with, and I feel like they're still the main reason why I would pick up a Steam Deck over something like an ROG Ally or a Legion Go if I had only one choice. Because, well, they just work, and they provide so many options to you. But most of all, the optimization for this handheld is unmatched. Of course, there's still a ways to go in terms of how fast this handheld runs games, like Dragon's Dogma 2. That game still isn't very playable on the Steam Deck, but there are always going to be games that can't play on your handheld, regardless of how new the handheld is. All that matters is how well optimized the game is for your specific handheld that you're using. So yes, in a couple months, there will be a game that just does not work on the ROG Ally or Legion Go. Regardless of how new your ROG Ally X or ROG Ally XY or ROG Ally XA will become, the optimization for that game for your handheld is what matters most. And that's what I had to learn while giving away my Steam Deck to a family member. First of all, I love that family member very much to give them my Steam Deck, but I also wanted the OLED Steam Deck. So I wasn't totally abandoning the idea of having a Steam Deck in the future. As you can see, I play a lot of games that require very fast-paced movements, and I mostly play them at nighttime with the trackpads. I've tried these trackpads with every single type of game: first-person shooter, survival horror, action-adventure, and of course, my dear fighting games. And I feel like, to me, the most impressive feature of the trackpads is how well it performs with fighting games. And a lot of other people would say it's impressive with first-person shooters, and others would say that it's more impressive with RPGs. The fact is, the versatility of these trackpads are unmatched, and they will continue to be timeless as the Steam Deck goes on and as the Steam Deck 2 becomes a reality. And I feel like the trackpads on the Steam Deck 2 will be a generational leap, regardless of how powerful the next iteration of this handheld will become. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about the Steam Deck's trackpads and that optimization topic I brought up earlier. Do you think the Steam Deck is going to go out of style, or do you think it's going to become even more ubiquitous as the handheld generations advance? But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. Later.